Alright everyone, so the pink stuff that I was putting down is called Red Guard. You see it dries red. Right here where it looks kind of pinkish, that's actually dust. But it dried up, and we went ahead and we put a pre-layer of sand mix down to bring it close to the level of this drain here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to Red Guard this. I've put down another layer of edge tape here. So we're going to put down another layer of Red Guard. Probably not going to video that. We videoed enough with the other, and it's just the same thing, just painting it again. But we're going to put down another layer of Red Guard, and when we do it, what we'll do also is we'll put the Red Guard down, we'll fold this over, and smooth it out onto it, and then we'll Red Guard that into the second coat of Red Guard. So we actually did a second coat on this too, but in the floor. But we'll do that, so that'll open that up. It'll still have the plastic. There's plastic in here to help protect the actual pan itself. And then we'll be putting down a this rubber mat right here, which is like a shower pan liner. We'll put that in, and then we'll put down some more of this sand mix and slope everything to the drain and have it ready for tile at that point. And I will probably again, even though it's not usually needed, I will again Red Guard that bottom, and at that time we'll Red Guard this entire thing up through here. So what I had done, and after we do that, that's when we can put this bottom layer of Durock on. So sure, what you've seen before, this quad, I like to quad every seam. Most people won't do that, and I will quad over every screw. Quad is 100% silicone. You probably notice I use different tubes. We got gray over there, we got white. Gets covered, so that part doesn't matter. I usually just use up whatever leftover tubes I have from different jobs, because it's just being put on there for a sealant is all. I'll also be putting that mesh tape over these seams and over the screw holes at the same time that that we do the Red Guard there. But so this is just another extra that we like to do. It just helps if any water ever gets through anything, it helps seal that. And also when we do the Red Guard, that's when we'll be putting these on as well, in those. But so what we're going to do is going to Red Guard this bottom again here. Then we'll put down putting that mat. I will probably video putting it in the mat and doing that sand mix there. This right here was it was towards the end of the day. We're trying to hurry up and do it, so didn't get that videoed. But we'll video the other part. This is fairly close to level. It doesn't have to be anything particular. I didn't really worry too much about it, but I eyeballed it really close to level. That's all that matters. I'm going to Red Guard, it's going to be sealed. And then the other layer is where we'll have to make sure that everything is just right. So that should be it on that. And we're going to get started with the next thing. So when you're doing this, which this is technically not needed because we've done the Red Guard and then we've done the pre-pan and then we've done the Red Guard again. But in most cases you want to do this, and I like to do it just because it's just another extra added thing to help with moisture catching. But any nails that you do, you want to make sure are above the top of this curb. So all my nails are above that point. Most of them are way above it, but the reason why is because if this shower ever was to fill up, of course, it's gonna run right over the top of that curb. So there's no reason that standing water is going to be above that point. So the rest of it, You still want watertight, but it's only watertight to the aspect of if water hits it and it runs off. Not watertight as far as needing to make sure that it can hold water, because it's never going to hold water. The curb is going to overflow before that happens. And the only other thing I need to do is, of course, I got to cut out for the drain over here, but my blade on my knife is real dull, so I'm going to have to go grab another blade from my truck, and then I'll do that real quick, and I'll probably just take a picture of it afterward being done, and then we'll move on to the next thing. All right, so now we're getting ready to start the sand mix that will go on top of the liner to actually create the slope that we need. It's usually used out of sand mix. It's not an actual concrete. It's more of a, it doesn't have the stones in it pretty much. It's mostly just the formula for the concrete versus without any gravel at all. Because you don't want any kind of rocks creating any issues with your slope of everything. This stuff you're going to mix kind of thick. You want it real thick. You want to essentially be able to take a glob of it, make a nice big handful, and form a, almost like a snowball with it, and put it somewhere and almost stick. So it's going to be really, really thick. It's going to be thicker than most people will refer to like a lot of mortar and stuff as being the thickness of like peanut butter. This is going to be more like the thickness, I'd say, of fluff, as far as the fact that when you put that somewhere, it does not spread or move at all unless you absolutely force it. So the best way that we found to do it is in a bucket, because you don't want to do a whole lot of it at once either, because you need to really be able to work with this and maneuver it. So putting it in a bucket the way Tyler's doing there, he's using a cup to get himself some, and then using, instead of dumping an amount of water in there, because depending on how much you end up putting in there, it may change slightly the consistency. Using a sponge and slowly adding water to it usually creates a better mixture and consistency. Alright, so that's mostly just a nice little art form. Took us a good bit to do, but everything just very slightly sloping towards the drain, of course. The edges sloping this way and then that direction. So just everything sloping in. Those little run streaks are like water basically. So it will end up disappearing when it dries out. But the closer you get this, the better and easier it will be to do the tile later. But because this is the final layer, hard layer, we're gonna put red gutter on top of this, but that's the final hard layer for the tile to actually set on. So we want that to be as close to perfect for what we want for it to drain as possible. So Tyler has done the first coat of Red Guard on the walls, and at the same time as doing the first coat of Red Guard, he went ahead and set these. So basically he just did the Red Guard behind and then just formed it, pressed it up into the Red Guard real good so that it will seat to it. The second coat of Red Guard will go over these here. So did the same thing with each of the shower heads and of course with the other valve. So you just have to do a second coat, and then after that second coat is done, we will finally be ready to actually start tiling the shower.